you. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to Lilly the Lash and Friends. I'm Lilly the Lash, the star and main character of the most incredible children's book series, The Life and Times of Lilly the Lash. Yep, it's really me, and I'm so excited that we're hanging out together. Many of you know exactly who I am, but I think it's important to do a quick review so everyone's on the same page. I am an eyelash fairy. Yeah, you heard me right. I said eyelash fairy. I help everyone see how to make good choices by using positive character traits like loyalty, honesty, and bravery. It all makes perfect sense because we use our eyes to see, and I get to be like an extra little magical helper. The books I'm in are simply extraordinary. They're fun, they're awesome to look at, they have the best adventures, and they always leave you thinking. Now, I could go on about these books and their lessons all day long, but we could all learn something from this letter I recently received from a Lilly the Lash friend. Come along now as we explore our friend's story. This is from Maxwell. He's from London, England, and he's 8.5 years old. Maxwell writes, Dear Lilly the Lash, I'm so glad that Mum said I could write to you because I want to tell you about something good. I love football, he's talking about soccer, and practice every chance I get. My friend Jackson is really good, and I always like to play with him because he knows how to get the ball away from other players and what to do to make goals. He lives close to me, so we're able to play a lot during summer holiday. When our new school year started, I was wondering why Jackson didn't sign up for the school team. I asked him about it a few times, but he would never answer me. One day when we were walking home, I asked him again. He finally told me that he didn't have the kind of boots we needed for the pitch, so he couldn't play. I asked him why he didn't just go out and buy some. But Jackson told me that he couldn't just go out and buy some because his family couldn't afford to do that. When I went home that night, I felt gutted. I started thinking about what Jackson said. I never thought about someone having these kinds of problems. All I could think about was the things that I had, and that I never had to worry about not having things I wanted. The next morning before school, I went to Jackson's house and I gave him my older brother's boots because he doesn't play anymore and they were Jackson's size. At first, Jackson didn't want to take them, but then I told him that they were a fair trade for everything he had taught me. He smiled, and then I smiled, and then we walked to school together. It made both of us happy. Go! Wow, that letter is really something, Maxwell. It certainly makes you stop and think about how different each and every one of our lives really is. How we're all surrounded by different circumstances. How we all have to deal with things in a different way. How being friends with someone doesn't always tell us everything about them. How, if we pay attention, we might get an opportunity to better understand one another. This kind of understanding is called empathy, and it's so needed in our world today because everyone has stuff to deal with in their lives. This story is a perfect example. Maxwell clearly cared about Jackson, and Jackson cared about Maxwell too. They super enjoyed being together and playing their favorite sport. But it never even dawned on Maxwell that signing up for the first real soccer season of their lives wouldn't be an opportunity for Jackson, even if he was one of the best players around. When Maxwell went home that night and really took the time to think about everything, something really cool happened inside of him. Yes, he wanted his friend to be able to join the team. And yes, he thought about giving Jackson his brother's boots. But that wasn't the coolest part. It was the fact that Maxwell was determined to make a fair trade with his friend. He didn't want him to feel like he was giving them to him because he couldn't afford them. He wanted to give them to him in trade for the soccer skills that Jackson was teaching him. Maxwell wasn't doing this out of pity. He was doing it to show support and his thanks. What a fantabulous thing to do! He wanted to thank his friend. It would be wonderful if we all took the time to think about how we might feel if we were in another person's place. If we could ask ourselves, how would I want to be treated if this was happening to me? If we were more aware of what someone else might be feeling, we would be careful to be kinder and nicer. We could show them empathy. Let's all try really hard to find a way to be understanding to others around us. It's not always easy, but we can give it a good try. Whoa, I'm plumb tuckered out and probably need to take a bit of a rest before I fly off to my next destination. But before I do that, I'd like to know if any of my friends out there have a story they'd like to share with other listeners. All you have to do is have your parent or guardian contact me through the author of the series, Julie Woik. You can find her email address on my website, which is lillythelash.com. That's LILLYTHELASH.com. Well, that's it for now. I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Remember, Lily's always listening. It doesn't take much for us to say something kind. Together, we can make the world a better place in the blink of an eye. See you later!